getting material into different places. And then I went on to my face training at 17 and a half. That's young. I become a face worker. I worked on the cold face 6 months later. That meant I got more money because you went on a different wage agreement, see, when you did that. But I also become one of the main men. My job was to get the coal. Okay.
How many hours did you work?
It was 8 hours, 8 hour shifts, 7.5, 8 hour shifts. But a pit worked on overtime. So you did overtime. There was shifts, day shift, noon shift, night shift. And with a pit, it has to be constantly producing coal to make money. So the day shift used to have to work overtime till the noon shift come in. He said, hey up, hey up. And they carried on working and we went home. And that's how it worked. So 10 hours average a day.
So would it go 24 hours, the pit?
The pit had run 24 hours.
Gosh, didn't know that.
24 hours. And you used to have 20 minutes break and all that time, but it didn't stop for 20 minutes. You had to make sure your certain job was done, and then you grabbed a dirty sandwich or a dirty apple. As you were eating the apple, with the dust, the black dust, the apple was going black, so you had to eat it quick.
Did you like working down the pit?
At first, when I was 17, there was no way I was arguing work down the pit. And I was fed up. I was an apprentice plasterer. I was fed up. And I went to join the army. And I was waiting at Parkside bus stop to catch the bus, and the training officer named George Jebb come along and he says, where are you going? I said, I'm going to join the army. George, I'm fed up. He said, come with me down pit. I'll show you something. And I walked down with him and I thought, I'll go for a couple of weeks. I'll go for 2 weeks. And I started that little bit of training and I thought, well, it's all right. This is 2 weeks, 2 weeks. And I stopped there 25 years. Yeah, so it's George Jebb's fault. To answer your question, no, I didn't like it at first. But what I did like was that little bit extra money, and I think everybody would say that. But then you get into it. I loved the physical work. I loved the lads. The men were fantastic. And yeah, it was. You got to like it. If you didn't like it, you wouldn't have stopped down there. You know, it was horrible. But you got to like it somehow. So yeah, I liked it.
Was there any accidents down the pits?
Lots. It was a very, very dangerous place. That's why you had to be trained proper, you had to be sensible, common sense. You had to trust your friends, totally trust your friends. I've been involved in 2 big accidents. I've been completely buried and dug out by my friends. I've been stitches, lots of stitches, that's part of the course. But, and there was fatalities, you know. I mean, if you go down to Silverdale Monument, the last person on there to get killed at Silverdale Quarry was a friend of mine. And I had to go, I was there when he got killed. And I'll leave it at that. But yeah, it was a very, very dangerous place to work.
How long did you work there for?
25 years. That's a long time. But that was 25 years under different people. When I went, it was the National Coal Board, and then the National Coal Board shut in 1993, and it became a private pit under Coal Investments and then under Midlands Mining. So even though I worked there 25 years, I worked under 3 different companies.
How did you feel when the pit was closed?
Yeah, I thought about this, and what you do feel is angry, very angry, because straight away, when you took on, I know a job, they say to you, you've got a job for life, and it should have been a job for life. Even today, as you sitting here, you know, there should be coal mines. I won't be working there, like, but I got a job for life. 25 years, yeah, I did get a job for life, but there was still coal down Silverdale, and it should not have should. The first reaction is, apart from being angry, is you're out of work. You know, you got to go find another job. Fortunately, I went and found another job, and a lot of people did from Silverdale. They went and found other jobs. But you were still angry. And then when it come to the last day, when you were finishing, you weren't angry, you were sad. Because you were shaking hands with people that, even though it's saying, oh, we'll meet you next week, we'll meet you in 12 months' time, have a reunion. It doesn't work like that. There's people now I shook hands with I've never seen since, because they went different parts of the country looking for work and things like that. So yeah, it was very sad, the last leading up to it. I can remember walking off the coal face on my own. It would be my last day. I was finishing a couple of days before everybody else, and as I was walking out, I kept looking at different places I'd worked, and it brought tears in my eyes, because people who've worked down the colliery for a good chunk of the time become proud, become a lot of pride in being a miner, and people have still got that now, and that's how you feel. And all of a sudden it had gone. There was nothing there for you except memories, fond memories.
And what was your first thought of being a miner or staying there for life?
Say that again, sorry.
And what was your first thought of being a miner and staying there for life, that being your job?
Yeah. It's...
Did you think that when you were a child? Was that like the first... Was that what you were always going to be, a miner?
No, I was going to...
Is that what you meant, Matty?
I think that's what you meant, sorry. I was always going to be a plasterer. My dad was a plasterer, and I went working as an apprentice plasterer. But there was an apprentice, there's no money, not them days anyway, there was no money in being an apprentice. And my mates who had gone the colliery were earning double, treble my wage. Well, it wasn't a great deal, I can imagine. Well, I didn't even then want to go down the pit. As I say, went to join the army. And George Jebb was a very persuasive man. And what it did do, it set me up with a comfortable life. I worked hard when I was there, I earned good money when I was there. And what it's done, it set me up. When it's short, it set me up what life I've got now. I've got a comfortable life through working hard and earning what money was available there. Obviously, then when the pit shut, we had a redundancy payment, and if you looked after it and made sure you did the right things. So I've got lots and lots of things to thank the pit for. Apart from the money, Bo, is the camaraderie the friendship, and you know, I still meet friends now who we can sit there now, and you have to be very careful because it does take over conversation. You get 5 or 6 pit men sit and they start talking, in a matter of minutes they'll bring up about the pit because it was a life, and it was a life for no other. I think the only thing that gets close to it are forces, firemen, police. Bit, so you got a nice drink. Do a miss doing that. Do a miss walking 2.5 miles down the pit, dripping with sweat, wiping yourself down with newspaper. I don't miss that. I don't miss it at all. Don't miss earning a good wage. I don't miss that because that's made me comfortable, so I don't miss that. But the biggest thing you miss, and you'll never find it, is friendship. And and I think any pitman will say the same. You build this camaraderie up. I work with people who I didn't like, and that person might not like me, but I'll be doing something, say, in a big hole there, and there'll be a lump of rock hanging there, and I'd say to this lad, watch that. If a little bit of dirt falls, it means it's moving, see. And I, even though I didn't like him, and he didn't like me, I totally trusted him, and he wouldn't let me down. And that's some mind working up in my eyes, you know. You might not talk to him when you get back on the surface. Hate him, don't like him. But down there, you needed him to be your friend, and vice versa. Yeah, I do miss that, massively.
Would you go back to the mine if you could?
That's another good one, isn't it? Physically, I'm not good enough now because when I got buried, and I'm too old now, if I was a bit younger, if I was younger and fitter, and the pit opened, you know, all of a sudden there was a pit there, I'd consider it, but obviously not now. Because when the second time I got buried, they had to take me to hospital, and I had 5 operations on my knee, and now I've got a metal knee.
Oh, wow.
So, I have, yeah. And so I couldn't go back. But if they opened a pit there and somebody come to me, an 18-year-old lad, and say, would you go down the pit? I'd say, get yourself down there and earn some money. But take it on board, you're getting into a very, very dangerous job. I've got some photos here for you, look. That's us standing on the bank at Silver, on the surface, and the pit had just been announced it was shutting. And what's funny about this, look at all that coal, and it was shutting, and we were still producing coal. And that photo is me down the pit. See, we used to wear shorts like that because it was red hot, it was boiling hot. You used to take that off, you used to wear on your bare chest. That's why you were covered all in little scratches, and we got a flask. And that wouldn't be tea in there, that'd be water, cold water, and it'd stay cold. That's one of the bosses, that is. That's why I earned money, because I was a creep. I was giving him a drink. Also, what you'll find interesting, I've just pulled it out. Just give me one sec. And this, Photos for the Future, was made by Sky Television, Sky. And Andrew Lees, Kerry's brother, won a competition. And he put, this is my last, about 3 weeks before we finished. These are my mates who I worked with. And Andrew wrote this and sent it in and won the competition. Sky Digital winner, Andrew Lees.
How old was Andrew?
He was about 12, 13. I gave him a little bit of an help, obviously, and that used to be the saying. It says there, I can remember him having a bad accident and going to see him in hospital. And his favourite saying, and this was, everybody used to say this, through pitfalls, some good, some bad, I'm proud to be a mining lad. 3 weeks after this photo was taken, the pit shut, so ending mining in Staffordshire forever. Yeah.
You got any more questions, girls? No? You got anything else?
No, it's been lovely. It's been lovely.